back to this. So if you have just stumbled upon this video and somehow you didn't get funneled from the first one, get right to the first one, because none of this is going to make any sense if you haven't watched the first one, right? So get right back to the first one and then come to this one, right? I was doing this second part to prove a point on the first one, but now let's get into the second one. So the second one, in the first video we covered the personal branding AIDA funnel, right? The awareness, branding, educating, and influencing. And we left out the action section for good reason, and we left out the sales section on how I used my sales maneuvers to get around the situation, and then the service and how we actually relayed the service to our customers and got referrals and high customer success. Now, action. Action can only be decided through urgency. You have to pin someone into an uncomfortable position for them to fight their way out, to take that leap, and see themselves become something different through that decision. Urgency is not pitching someone a price and then upselling them to a higher price, being like, "Oh, it's $5,000, but in a week from now it's gonna be 8, so you have to make the decision now." The guy said no at 5. I don't know when that's ever worked for people. This might be like an old-timey sales tactic that people still talk about because it's just like so common and people understand it. Everyone knows this method, so it's like an easy way to make content on it. It's an easy talking point. But for the life of me, I can't figure out how people really sit down and try to imagine themselves in their client's shoes and think, okay, yeah, I see what they're doing. Like, your client sees, like, they understand that the reason why you're saying $8,000 is so they make the decision today and you're pressuring them. They know you're trying to make synthetic urgency, and synthetic urgency is not actually what's going to be bringing you in money. It's going to be natural urgency that actually means something to the person, to his soul. Not just like the sales guy that's hungry there. He's like, dude, like, listen, man, it has to be today, or in a week from now, it's going to be 8. No, dude, I already told you no at 5. How about in a week from now, I don't give you shit, and I keep all my money? Because now what you just ruined is you just gave him sales dissonance and time to think about it. You just gave him a set week and be like, listen, man, look, it's $5,000, you know the price now, okay. It's going to be 8 later. And then they think, okay, 7 days. I have 7 days to think about it. That's reasonable. Let me follow up in a week. And then by the time they already forgot about it, they're not interested, okay? Because you just ruined your entire trust that you built with that person. Yo, me again. Price shopping does work. I don't want you guys to take this the wrong way. But it's just like using it as like a sales tactic and like thinking like, oh yeah, dude, it's like urgency, bro. It's great urgency. No. Price shopping does work, but that's like kind of last resort. Like, why would I ever tell you the full price of the thing if you're just gonna give yourself a million objections until then? But it does work though, and it's like taught like all the time. And it's like if you do price drop and then say like, okay, yeah, it's gonna be more later, so you guys got like 2 weeks to think about it. Like maybe your opt-ins would get higher, your show rate might be better, but it's like last resort, man. I don't fuck with it, honestly. The other thing I see is only 2 spots left. Only 2 spots left. Even if that's true, never say that. In our case, it was literally true. Like, we only have a set number of people that we were allowed to put in. The mentorship's full, by the way. It's been full for months now. And even when we did have 2 spots left open, the idea is you're telling me that. I don't know the truth, but because you're telling me that, and because I see that you're giving me a price and you're giving me a product and you're trying to make me make a decision, I'm going to assume that that's just a lie. I'm going to assume that that's just a lie, even if it isn't. And you just lied to me. And now I'm just going to distance myself from everything you just showed me or told me or, tried to comfort me with. Because you're lying to me. I don't see how it's ever worked. It might work in like some cheaply scenario where you're selling like a Shopify product or on Amazon. Amazon has like only 3 left in stock because, okay, that's kind of believable. There's only 3 left in stock. But it's like, if you have an info product where it's 100% profit margins, there isn't a physical product that I have to give you, and it's just like a link to a Discord or whatever, I'm not going to believe that. You can put in 1 million people if you want. Even if it's true, I'm not going to believe it, so don't say it. Here's what real urgency is. Urgency is fear. But most people take this wrong because they see this as, okay, yeah, urgency is FOMO. Because this word FOMO is kind of a household name now. Like, everyone knows the word FOMO, fear of missing out. And everyone's experienced it, right? Like, FOMO is like, you get invited to a party, but you're not going because you have to study, but then you're thinking about all the hot girls that are going to be there, and you're like, maybe I should go to this party. Like, I don't want to miss out. I want to be the nerd. I'm going to the party. So everyone's experienced it, and everyone knows exactly what it feels like. It's like a memorable memory, especially when you're taught that it's a human condition. You're like, wow, crazy how the brain works like that. And people focus on that a little too much when that isn't the real answer on how to actually get action done with this sense of urgency. Urgency is not FOMO. Urgency is pure fear, like cold sweating, like pain. Okay, urgency is the pain of not taking action. It's the bill of regret. This is urgency right here. This photo, you look in the mirror. It's like all this hard work you've been putting in for months. You've been grinding. You've been trying to perfect this one craft. You look in the mirror and you're in the exact same place. For me, if I looked in the mirror and I was in the exact same place, I would start breaking out into cold sweats, like genuinely like trembling, right? So what you have to do with this urgency is that is natural urgency. And you're supposed to captivate it and blow it towards a direction that makes the most sense, not for you and your company, but for him. You have to realize real urgency is not about making the decision today, but it's about what not making the decision is going to look 6 months from now. Make sense? Okay. But that's not all. Because in the end, urgency doesn't mean a goddamn thing. Urgency means nothing without certainty. Because this doesn't exist without the person being certain and being 100% that he knows that he's going to show up every day and he's going to be 100% committed into achieving this, and that there's other people doing it, and that the systems are there, and that the person that they're buying this program from is actually a good guy that's going to take him there and not scam him. So while this is like the bottom of the funnel, it doesn't mean anything, and people focus way too much on it. It's why I didn't even cover it in the first video, because in the first video I wanted to cover the most important stuff. This second video is how it all ties together. And another way to think about it is urgency. The way to use natural urgency to your best ability is for you to make the client or the prospect, make inaction more risky than taking action. And here's where it starts getting different. This mirror example means a lot because in today's day and age, there are so many scammers out there. And they're kind of getting filtered out because I feel like the scam guru pipeline is already fading away. And people don't buy systems or things you show them or truths anymore. People buy mirrors. People buy mirrors of themselves. And I feel like that is the main reason why, this kid, Brent Scales, and the other guy, TJR, are making so much money. It's not because the content is so addicting and because it's, just all about, top of funnel views. It's because their market, when they look at Alex Hormozi, and he's like 20 years older than them, they don't see that person, who they are in the mirror, in Alex Hormozi, but they do see it in TJR, for example. Like, his whole brand is like the intelligent trader. Like, he's figured it out. He's cracked the code, right? He knows how to trade. He's figured it out. He's beat Wall Street. He moves with the banks. Sure. It's not what they're buying, though. This is not what they're buying at all. Because there's guys out there with 50 plus years of experience that know a million times more, but they're not buying their program. They're buying TJR's program because TJR acts like an idiot on purpose. They're buying the mirror because they're like, oh, I'm an idiot. I can relate to this guy, and because I can relate to him so much, and he's got all these cool things, and that's the life that I want to make for myself, I want everything that this guy's teaching. Because I see myself in him, and I see where I want to be in quote-unquote 6 months. I don't know why that's the new standard of like people thinking that they'll get rich in. It's going to take years, buddy. But they're like, I want to be that in 6 months. I don't see myself being Hormozi in 6 months. I don't see any of that. I see myself learning trading and becoming a TJR, famous, and I don't see myself becoming stoic or whatever. I just see myself as me because I look in the mirror, and that's why I want his stuff. So this bottom of funnel approach means nothing without any of this being mastered, right? Without any of this being mastered before you even get to that. And kind of that's the great thing about it being at the bottom of the funnel, is that only way to get there is if everything else is perfectly lined up. So people focus too much time on that. And that's why I, saved it for the second part of the video, because there's not really that much to talk about. It's just be authentic, be real to the person, because everyone has 20/20 vision when it comes to spotting like inauthentic acting, especially over a long period of time, because your ideas and the way you think and the way you convey yourself, if it's fake, it's not going to connect the dots. It's not, the ideas and your logic are not going to build on itself. If you just stay true and you're like, hey man, this is what I'm doing and this is who I am, then it is. And it's going to reinforce the certainty aspect that this guy's legit. Now, that was enough with the urgency spiel I got. Let's talk about the sales aspect of this, because this was a masterclass, right? In the first video, I talked about how, you could call me 100K a month closer, but I will never consider myself one, because just this way of dealing with the leads did all of the work. I don't have to do anything, right? So what I did was, hold on, things tweaking. Now that we just covered the whole marketing section and branding section on how we pull this off, how do we actually, make the money? So the sales aspect. I showed you guys this before, but I don't think you read what I was exactly screenshotting here. Read this line right here. Hold on. Get the highlighter. Right here. Help you out one-on-one. Complete all these metrics, right? Like, sharing the video, saving, or whatever. And I'll personally sit down with you and talk with what you're doing wrong and how to improve and what I do differently so I can help you out one-on-one. And I actually would speak and talk to everyone one-on-one and give them free advice, actually. And so this started this cycle of, they get funneled into this community, right? And I message them on my main Telegram account. And in this community, I get to see every single one of their pain points. What's going on wrong, what the hurdles are, right? They're not hiding anything from me because they're not even talking to me directly. But I'll see what's going on because I see the questions that they're asking. And then I'll just DM them. And I'll be like, hey, man, here's the answer to that. I'm like, wow, thanks. Like, thank you so much. Like, that actually helped me out. Like, hella. Like, this is insane information. Thanks. And I'll just leave it at that. I would leave it at that. And then next time, they're going to come to me because they realize, man, this guy, every time I ask him a question, every time I tell him I'm having this problem, he takes time out of his day to answer it. And, does a good job doing it. And he's not hiding anything. And it actually works. And so now I'm building this insane trust cycle of, this guy's legit. This guy's the GOAT. This guy's helping me out when I ask for help. And he sees my comments in the group chat. He doesn't respond directly in the group chat, but he messaged me privately. And he says it's cool to talk to him whenever. Okay, so that keeps happening. I keep talking to everybody I can. And it's just a complete nurture. And then from there on, the next time they come talk to me, after a few times of just giving out valuable information, I just start putting up a normal conversation. And like, hey man, like what's going on with this? What's going on with that? How much are you making from this? Okay, what do you want to be making? Okay, why that number? It seems like you thought about it. Okay, yeah. All right, and then it's like, based on what I heard, like all your problems you're having, like I would text you the answer, but honestly, it would just be easier if we should go on a call and you share your screen. I'll tell you exactly what I do. Who would say no to that? Who would say no to that? No one said no to that. Show rate was 100%. And so, we get on this call on Calendly, and we get on this Zoom call, and I'm just telling them everything. I'm just giving them a complete audit. I'm like, yeah, this is exactly what I do, this, and that. Because there's a million problems. So if I solve like 10 of them, it doesn't mean anything. Because those 10 are going to come back next month when everything's patched. So the frame is, you're not getting on a sales call. And you trust me, and you come to me for advice, and you know that the things that I tell you are true, and that you actually see a positive result from. And then from there on, I just go, hey, honestly, with what you're doing right now and the kind of problems you're facing, I totally think it's worth a conversation, about this like experimental program that we got going on. Like, we don't talk about it. We don't ever tell anyone that we have a mentorship or anything because we don't want to be associated with the stigma behind that. And which is true, there was no funnel. They didn't know we had one. They didn't know that we were building one. They didn't know that it existed. This just comes out of the blue after, days with talking with this person. And I'm like, hey, so, we got this experimental program. And kind of the problem that we're thinking with is like, everyone comes for us for information. And everyone's begging for this program. But, we don't know how much this is going to affect our business personally. And the only way to figure that out is through actually giving people the full info and then, measuring like the cost benefit analysis on that. So what's racing through their mind right now is, okay, they don't have a mentorship. They're thinking about doing one. The only way to figure out if it actually works is through giving me everything. And if it doesn't work, they're fucked. And I still have everything. So the other thing, I'm going to pull one over these guys. Like, they're thinking like, oh yeah, I'm in. How much is it? Because you guys are the best. All right, yeah, I mean, look, if it doesn't make sense financially for us, like, you'll still have access to everything. But it just means that we're not going to go through with it. Like, this is the reason why we don't have a mentorship program or anything, or it's like publicly available. I'm just telling you one-on-one right now. And then, they'll have like some like basic objection handling. And it's like super easy. Like, I just have to answer like 1 or 2 questions. And they're like, yeah, man, I'm in. And the great thing about the offer that I was in was that I wasn't stuck to just one payment processor that's linked to the offer owner and then like waiting for confirmation and Zapier through that. It was just like any way we could take money, we just took it. Crypto. This one kid made me download Chime this one time, which was like some random like banking app. I had to like make a whole bank account. Everything. If we didn't have it, we made it. So we had a million payment processors to take everything from. Crypto, Chime, WAP, fan bases, Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, PayPal, wherever you got it, I got it. Okay. And from there on, it led to the service aspect. And we also did in-house payments because our service aspect was so tuned in that we didn't even have to go through these payment processors. We just be like, all right, yeah. So if you want to split this up into 2 payments, or if you want to split this up into 3 payments, just cash at me this, cash at me that, and then when it comes time, you, you just send it back and you'll keep your access. So they're thinking, okay, yeah, I just paid $750 for this or whatever. Or I just paid like $2K for the entire program, and now I have 30 days to screen record everything. No, dude. Obviously, we're smarter than that. And so the way our service was, framed as is it's not a course, because a course is just like PDFs, and it's like, all right, man, go figure it out. Like the way we did it is we had a mentorship, like a proper mentorship. Like everyone says that they have a mentorship now, and it's not a course, but that's because course has too much of a stigma. We had like an actual mentorship, and the way it worked was, how do we maximize the value of the payments? Well, the entire program was on a one-to-one FaceTime basis. Meaning, like, we still had the SOPs, was still written out, we still gave out the software that we paid thousands for free, okay? We even gave out exclusive personally trained VAs on contract for them, so they don't have to go with the bullshit of, like, finding VAs and getting scammed. But the real value was in the one-to-one calls. And you could call anytime. And so when the 30 days were up, and they're like, okay, yeah, I got this information, but the calls were just so much more. Man, I just paid $2,000 for 4 calls. I still have these problems that need to be fixed, and this is gonna get patched in 30 days. So it's like, I have to stay. And that's how we just managed completely. Like the in-house payments were not a problem for us at all. And through that system, and through having this approach towards our service, client retention way up. Everybody loved it because these one-on-one calls is literally you're sharing your screen, and I'm telling you everything that's wrong with what you're doing. And that's one call. And then the next call, you share it again. I see what you implemented, what you didn't implement, what went right, what we didn't right. I just go for hours, not hours, like an hour. And I just tell you everything that you're doing wrong again. And so people love the calls. The client retention was so high because it doesn't make sense to leave now, right? You see the value in it. And our operational security was high because nobody could just come in and be like, all right, yeah, I screen recorded everything, paid my $2,000, see ya. And then just leak it to their friends or whatever for like, maybe like part of the cost. Whatever, try to recoup some of their money. And our client satisfaction value was through the roof because nobody does this. Nobody cares about their clients anymore. Like people, offer owners or most info products care about all this, right? Care about all of this, all of this. Then it's like by the time they get the money and they have the customer, they're like, yeah, see ya. You have the courses. All right, we got a 1 call a month with you and 50 other people in it. And hey, now's your time to ask, your one question of the week. And I'm just going to give you, like, some answer that's super vague. Like, I don't know why people don't take care of their clients. If you take care of your clients, you make more money, right? And so from there, our client satisfaction value went way up. So did our testimonies. And then from there, it was just skyrocketing referrals. We didn't even have to do anything. Because it's like, imagine all this trust that we built. And then on top of that, now your friends are telling you that this is great. And they're like, whoa, dude, just send it to me. Like, why do I have to pay this? Like, you're already in. You can't. FaceTime basis only, right? And so it was fully completed payments and referrals. Yo, me again. Can't tell? I like doing this in one take, and I don't look back, huh? So, 2 things that I forgot to mention. Yes, there was a downsell, and a lot of money came from that. Obviously, I'm not dumb. Like, obviously, you have a downsell. The downsell was literally just one FaceTime. One FaceTime, but for 2 hours this time. Because, like, the first, like, free value call that I gave, it was like 30-ish minutes. And I was like, for the first 15 minutes, just like figuring out, like, asking questions, like qualifying, like asking what's wrong. And the last 15 is like, yeah, dude, this, and that. And then if I pitched them the full program, audience was like 99% Eastern European men. No joke. I think there's like 3 American guys like in the program. So it's like, all right, I need to find some like low cost, but like still like worthy. So for like $1,000, I was like, all right, dude, 1 hour FaceTimes. And yeah, we rinsed that. We rinsed those 1 hour FaceTimes, and it was like it even got to the point where it's like, why don't you just buy the program? Like, because like people would buy 2, because it would help so much. So I was like, why don't you just buy the program? But they just didn't, because they're like, I have no fucking idea, dude. But it worked. And man, thanks for watching. Yo, me again. So this one's gonna be for the guys that are on the receiving end of this. it sounds like it sucks when you look at it from my perspective, and it kind of sounds like, oh, this guy was trying to trick us this whole time. Not the case at all. So, two things why people won't even make a video like this in the first place, and why I can't make a video, and I'm proud of the fact that I can't make a video because there shouldn't be any controversy behind it. So here's how it works, right? The first reason why someone wouldn't make a video like this is because they don't want people to connect the dots on how much money they made from the course and then seeing how that reflects across their lifestyle and then realizing, oh, you actually don't make any money from the business model you claim to have been doing, and it was from this course. Not the case for me. If you look like at the old videos that I was posting, the one in Miami, that was way before the course. That was, I don't even remember. It was way before that video. We weren't thinking about. We were thinking about it, but we didn't even have one yet. And it's like, how are you gonna fake that? Right? We didn't even have a fucking course yet. Two, they don't post a video like this because they don't want the guys from inside the group to be pissed and figure out like how much money they made off of like having this, charade. The only reason why they'd be pissed is if the information was bad, right? But our thing is great. It's full now, but it's amazing. I mean, if you looked at the testimonies, we got one guy in there went from 0 to 15.5K with zero experience. We got one guy in there who went from, what was it, 20 to 70 grand a month in like 30 or 60 days. And then I think he's at like he might be at 100 right now. We have a ton of people that went like doubled. This is not financial advice, by the way. You can get sued for this, like just saying like you could double it. There's a bunch of guys who did double it. This is not financial advice, and even if you did want to get in, we're not letting you in. It was kind of packed. Like, we don't have time for it. I mean, if you're like begging and pleading, and like there's like snot coming down your nose, like, and you're like gonna like pay in full, maybe if you really wanted that bad, but we're not trying to get more people in. It's been over. It's been over for months now, if you haven't noticed. So yeah, I can make a video like this because I didn't really do anything wrong, right? People love the program. I was actually making money. Like I didn't lie to anyone in their face. I was giving out advice for free. I was helping people out for free. The group chat was out for free. We didn't even start the group chat to really take advantage of it like that. But then like once we realized the power behind it, we're like, all right, we're gonna take advantage of it like that. So yeah, it wasn't premeditated. Everything just kind of fell into its place, and that's what happened. And now you guys learned something. You're like, wow, I saw that play out. Like that's insane. I don't know what else you want me to say. You could blame me now for like all the money I'm making off courses, but it's like that's true. I'm making a lot more now from the courses, so I guess if you want. He's switching over to court. Like I'm trying to think like the negatives right now. I'm also extending the watch time on this video so it gets ranked higher. What else could you guys make fun of me for? Like, oh, you quit your business model. You betrayed us. Like, no, I just made more money really fast with like really low effort compared to what I was actually doing. Like, when I was doing, I'm not gonna say on YouTube because I don't want the video to get downranked. But when I was doing what what I was doing, dude, I was up all day, all goddamn day doing that. It was like, yeah, I made a bunch of money, but it's like, what? This new thing that I got this new opportunity. I know I'm good at it, and I have all these connections. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make more money. Look, this channel was not made for me to teach you how to make money in one sector. If I know how to make money, I'm gonna post it on YouTube. And you guys can watch it. Isn't that what we're here to do? Screw what way I'm doing it. I'm teaching you how we're doing it, how I'm doing it. You should be too. If I'm doing it, you should be too. I don't see anything bad in that. So yeah, what else? Do I have a course on it? No. Am I gonna drop a course on it? Maybe. I would have by now, but it just doesn't make sense because like, yo, I spent like 30 racks on courses, by the way, after this. So like I literally could, but then I'm just a scumbag who bought a course and then just resold the information. Mm, yeah, if I drop a course, I'll let you guys know. I'm not gonna have a course. Everything's just gonna be posted for free on here on YouTube. Because right now, main goal is leverage. Leverage on Instagram. Leverage on Instagram and just basically all social medias. Because man, you gotta build that out. It takes like a long time. The only way to do that is through building it out. Now I just have to focus on that. It sucks. It's like I don't have a launch pad for it. 'Cause usually like people start off with like 1,000, 2,000 Instagram followers, whatever. I got like 80 followers right now, dude. It sucks. It sucks. But the way I'm mitigating that is I'm giving you guys everything I know for free. Like if I was gonna have a course, it's on there for free because I don't want your money. I'd rather earn your trust first, maybe help you out. Like kind of my main goal is if I could get someone making 10K a month from just the free stuff I'm giving them, dude, that's the sickest thing ever. That's what I'm gonna try. That's what I'm gonna try and target. I'm gonna drop in a video, maybe bi-weekly or maybe monthly. It hasn't started yet. The first one's already up there. And then if I could get a case study of someone that I took from nothing to 10K a month just off the free, then I'll drop it. Just off the free ski, then I'll drop one. But it's not gonna be cheap. It's gonna be like pretty expensive. Cause I have so much. Next video is talking about to stop buying courses. I'm serious. Like my next video is on teaching you guys to not buy courses anymore. Cause yeah, I learned that one the hard way, man. Holy I have like multiple course. I'm gonna stop talking. See, the next video is on to stop buying courses, and it's actually a banger. I'm already thinking about it right now. If I should quote the ancient Sanskrit, nah, whatever.